Alright folks, how's it going? There's Cattys. Not to be confused with Cheech Marin from Cheech and Chong. Yeah, we got a Labrador poo, man. I don't know Mexicans, can't they? Just a joke. You know what I mean? So I'm going to imagine by the time this video comes out, I would have already have done the camp with Barney. And it wasn't a bad weekend apart from the fact that it was really wet and damp. But crikey, as the temperature dropped, it's about 5 degrees at the moment. I know this isn't like, you know, I live in the south of England, so you know, it's not a, you know, like the subarctic Canada and all them sort of places, but you know, it's still a lower temperature than what we normally get here. Well, no, it's not, is it? We normally get the temperature quite low anyhow. Scrap all that. It does get cold, but we certainly don't get it as bad as some of the rest of the country here in the UK, which I don't mind. And then, mate, I don't mind either way. I can handle the, I can handle it, whatever. I don't mind being out in the cold weather. I probably prefer to be out in the cold weather more than I do the hot, I think. Anyway, let's get on with it. So yeah, we're chatting to Barney, and we were camping out over the weekend, and I've been using that Dutch Army poncho. And I kind of like the idea of the fact that I can obviously utilise it as a sort of a waterproof cape, and then I haven't got to worry about a waterproof. So I've slept in it under a lean-to. I've often brought it out just as a setup as a lean-to, just as a bit of shelter while I'm sitting out in the woods having a brew and blah 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 blah. But what I'm going to do now, because obviously that that poncho is obviously longer than the Helicon Tex one. Now I stand at about 6'3", which is quite tall, isn't it, in the grand scheme of things when you compare it to the height of a poncho. And Helicon Tex's ponchos are quite short. So with that in mind, using the Dutch Army one, Barney reckons they're about 8 foot, which wouldn't surprise me because I do fit under it. But what I want to do is try it out today, see what it's like as a Plough Point. I'm not sleeping out in it because I'm at work tonight, but what I want to do is I just want to set it up as a shelter and see how what the configuration of it is like as a Plough Point. So plus have a brew, a bit of bannock and all that sort of stuff as well while I'm out the brew. Not too many really. just making up a little sort of jungle toggle, as they like to be called, and all the rest of it. So I just want this for obviously for the Plough Point. So I've got obviously Plough Points on, and I've got Plough Point. Yeah. So I'm just putting some loops in it. So it'll go on the toggle. So on here. Do another couple, just because the diameter, have it a bit longer, then obviously it accommodates the diameter of the tree. Looks a little, almost looks like a little climbing ladder or grappling thing for Action Man or Barbie and Ken even. Basically just goes through one of them loops if you've never made them before. I'll take it up a bit. So what I did was, when I got home after the weekend, I just put a little bit of 36 bank line loops onto each corner so it will accommodate pegs and I can stretch it out. I didn't want them too long because literally I only want to use this as kind of like a lean-to and obviously the Plough Point sort of setup. Boom. Well, looks alright from the outside, doesn't it? You know, nice and simple. It probably still looks quite short. The acid test is obviously when I get in there. I think more so if I time to get Brew on then. So obviously if you don't, you know, like sort of jungle loops, whatever you want to call them, they're fashionably call them these days. And obviously if you make it quite long with a load of loops in it, you can use it to accommodate obviously bigger trees, that's up to you. And then toggle, a little bit goes through there, and then you're basically pegging it out corner to corner, you know, that's if you don't know the Plough Point. But I wanted to try it out just with this Dutch tarp, this Dutch poncho, because obviously the length of it, and that ain't too bad. So it's slightly more bulkier to put away, you know, it's a little bit, woodpecker, green woodpecker, it's a little bit more bulky to put away, but then at the same time I haven't got to bring a waterproof, I can use that. Alright, and then there's the argument, yeah, but what if, you know, you go away from the shelter and your poncho's up and that's you, you know, come on, flipping heck. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Nice backrest using the tree, still got a little bit of shelter under the tip of the point of the tarp, I keep calling it a tarp, but it's a poncho. So, let's get Brew on, eh? So the observant ones in you will see that I'm using a smaller cup, and Barney sort of got me onto this. I used to use one of these cups years ago before the bigger ones come out. I had one of the Swedish Army sort of original issue ones, and which I think, I'm not sure if even this one is. I can't see, I need my glasses. But he's often said it before as well, because obviously the smaller cup using less water, which makes sense, but you know, I'm having to break myself in a little bit using a cup this small. I do like my bigger one. Yeah, that's what she said. Loving that add-on pouch that Dave Fry's made for me. Superb, love it. Love the camouflage. It sort of goes well with the little Hill People Tamahara pack. Allows me to keep other stuff reasonably waterproof in there. I'll put a card up, have a look at that video. Maybe you want to go and buy some of his stuff. Little cottage UK business. what I did do a little time ago was I put a tape one end and one the opposite end, so that was more the central point if I wanted to have it just like a sort of like an A-frame poncho. For some reason they don't have an eyelet right in the middle, they just seem to have it sort of further along and on the corners, so I've just added this bit of tape. I've treated it with a bit of sealant as well, and I've got one either, as I say, the opposite end as well, just for that if I want to set it up as an A-frame during the summer months, you know. But you know, yeah, I ain't going to keep harping on about it, but I'm quite impressed with that for the size of it and everything. So Barney, you're probably right, it is probably about 8 foot. I've never looked into it, but it's certainly bigger than the Poncho, the Helicon one that I used to bring out a lot, and the one that Eddie sort of comments about as well. A lot drier now on this one. Ooh, actually, I don't really need that on there. Tiny bit of honey butter left, which I want to use up before I make my next little batch for that jar, with some simple bannock with as you can see, raisins in there. So far, obviously I'll mix it up obviously because I'm only coming out for the day, but in this particular pouch I've got Summit food, kind of for more sort of like, you know, if I get caught out or something. And then the other thing I keep in there as well, and this is just porridge with sort of like athletic greens in there and nuts and goji berries and stuff like that. Put some little snacks in this one, and just little nibbles. It's always good to have that, you know, especially if you goes a bit naughty. Not cool burner, fuel, the Vargo stove, the frying pan, the little pan that I use, the cup, yeah, brew kit. Honey butter, which is now run out, and then I also keep my little CC4 in there, my little Falk ribbon sharpening stone. I like this one more so than the other one. Ceramic's just a little bit less aggressive than the blades. Yeah. So really all you need for the Plough Point is obviously your shelter, in this case the Dutch Poncho, a toggle line of such, something to attach the corner to a tree. That's a number 12 bank line, so I've got that just to tie off the hood, or you might want to use it on your, if you've got say like a DD tarp, you might want to sort of tie that one in the middle just to pull it out so it gives you a little bit more height space. And literally 3 pegs. And then what I do as well, if I'm going to set it up as a ridge line, what I do, or if I'm going to set it up as a lean-to, then I bring my rapid ridge line. And all that will go inside there now. Because that is all I need for all that setup. The good thing about this as well, it just sort of press does away because it packs away into its own little bag. And then these can come out because these are my spare pegs, so they can come out. I mean, obviously I bought the bank line out just to sort of to make the jungle toggle today, but that could come out potentially. I didn't want to have that in there, and that's it. And then that'll go back inside. There's the wintry stems of rose bay willow herb. Good for tinder. If you get that fluff on there, it's normally a good indicator that you're supposed to get quite a cold winter. You can see bits of it there and bits of it there, but normally it's a lot worse than that. Now, during the summer months, obviously it's really good because you can use it for, the leaves can be used for making tea. Yeah, I believe it's Kapoya tea or something they drink in Russia. And obviously the inside the stems during the summer, you can open them up, scrape that out and eat that stuff. It's actually quite nice, it's watery, it's nice tasting actually. But obviously now it's just sort of good for firelighting really. But they do grow tall as well. I mean, I'm 6'3" and some of these stems grow a lot taller than that. So right, if you've got this far, thanks for watching. I'm off now because I need to get back, get changed, go out for a run and take Rocky out, give him his run as well. So if you get this far, thanks for watching. Leave your comments down below. Check out the description for any links or anything like that. And I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good one.